So yeah, now I would like to introduce our amazing guys who are sitting at the stage and waiting for me to finish my speech. And so yeah, first of all, one of the guests who created the idea to make this panel discussion is Diana Koziarska. So she's sitting, as you see, it's written on the slide, she's sitting in the middle, and she's the managing partner at SMOK Ventures, and it's written on her LinkedIn that she's a Nomad VC in Central and Eastern Europe. Quite a cool name, by the way. And yeah, Diana is actively investing in startups from our region, and yeah, so she was the one who decided to invite Belarusian founders so that we have a hot panel discussion. And we have the following founders and representatives of the startups. So the first one is Helene Malyutina. She is CEO of FEMS app. FEMS app is supportive family AI copilot. I hope that Lena will tell a bit more about the project during our panel discussion. Then we have Vera Art. She's the co-founder of OMME. Probably you've heard about OMME across different social media. OMME is a digital skincare advisor. So girls or boys, sorry, I'm not a sexist. So everyone who is using cosmetics, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Please find this application and use it in the future. And we also have the representative of OMME. It's an AI-powered omni-mental wellness companion. Maksim Luzin is CTO and CPO at this project, and yeah, it's about mental health, everything, and I think that is the product that everyone needs at the moment after 2020 and 2022. And the moderator of our discussion is Sergey Fedyushchenko. I'm sorry, Sergey. I will not list all the titles that are written on your LinkedIn, but only this one, that you are the partner in early stage VC. You will tell about it a bit later. Serial founder, Berkeley Skydeck Startup Accelerator alumni, and a lot more. So Sergey will be the moderator at this panel discussion, and we are going to talk about raising money in Poland, about the way VC works in Poland, and finally how to reach those investors who are providing financial resources to startups. So yeah, I'm giving the microphone finally to the guys, and Sergey, you can start, and I will also give you microphones.
Yeah, I hope it works. So, hi everyone, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to UHub panel discussion. Today we have pretty tricky topic. Why can't you raise money in Poland? It's a question that many of you probably asked yourselves before, and there is no easy answer to this. But we are here to shed some light on this issue, and yeah, we have a diverse panel of experts, including a partner of the VC fund and 3 founders on different stages of their startup journey. So, and I think it would be really interesting to listen to them. Yeah, we hope to uncover challenges and opportunities that lie within the Polish startup ecosystem, and also explore the key factors that affect fundraising here. We would be happy to hear the insights that panelists have to share. Without further ado, let me introduce, well, actually they were already introduced, so I would say let's can you share a few words about yourself? So this discussion would be more interesting. Yeah, Diana, I think maybe you can start. Okay.
Hi everyone. Thank you for introducing me already. But one more time, I'm Helene Malyutina. I'm CEO and founder of the startup FOMS. This is the AI parenting copilot. We help parents to do not lose their minds in parenting. So in fact, we empowering parents to find the courage to live the life they for them and for their kids happier. Well, I moved in Poland with my family 2 years ago. And the panel discussion, it's why you can't raise, but in fact, I want to say all of us, yeah, right? A lot of startup here. I see already. We can, and let's talk about what exactly to do for this. I definitely think that we can, yeah.
Thank you. I think you said it pretty well, like that you can. So, and you can from me. So, hello everyone. I'm Diana. I'm one of the partners at SMOK. So we do software and game dev investment, and our aim is to be the first institutional investor in the company that we are starting. So we are the early betters, the risk takers as the VC fund, and we invest into CE, and we also have diverse team. We don't have yet Belarusian team member, but we have Ukrainian team member. We have people from Romania and Poland and the US in our team. I'm an engineer also, from historically.
Cool.
Hi everyone, my name is Vera. I'm a co-founder of OMME, beauty tech startup. We help users to choose beauty products. You just take a picture, and in a second we tell you if it will be good for your skin or not after you go through a short questionnaire. I started my journey in high tech from being a software engineer, but quickly moved to being a product manager, and I've been doing product management for the last 10 plus years. And right now, I'd say that we're a refugee startup. I almost can say that I'm twice refugee because I'm from Tel Aviv. And right now we face lots of challenges because we move from one country to another country, and it's really hard to find, to build the network in a new country, and it's very, very challenging. So I'd be happy to talk about that today.
Okay, and I represent a startup that was based here in Poland. We are working on that idea for a year already, but a few months at its new iteration. But we are deeply into the topic of fundraising here in Poland, so I think I'll have some good insights to share with you how do we raise in Poland, and what's the main disadvantages and advantages of raising money in Poland. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I also wanted to add, so audience, don't feel shy. Feel free to ask any questions, and we'll try to notice you. I hope I will see you. Yeah, and any question that may cause your reaction or any insights from your side, we'll be happy to hear them. Of course, we have limited amount of time. Please, can I keep this in mind? But other than that, feel free. So the first question is to Diana. What are the primary factors you're considering when evaluating investments in Poland, in Polish startups?
I wouldn't say just in Polish startups, so because we invest into CE, so I do evaluate the region. So because we have each fund has a thesis, so I check. Okay, our thesis is we invest into emerging Europe founders and diaspora, and so we want let's start with that. So we are early stage investors, so usually we invest when there is no product or there is MVP, the first traction, and so on. So for us, the most important part is the team. So we check what's the team set, who are the founders, what they've done before, do they have all of the skills inside to get to the next round of funding. So when we invest, you have the CEO, you have the CTO, you have ways to sell and deliver the product. And then we check the market. What are the market trends? What's how big can it grow and so on.
One of the most painful things for startups, early stage startups, is traction. Yeah, how to describe it, and what do you think about early traction? How you estimate it? What you consider traction and what you consider just, ideas? Yeah.
Okay. So usually when when I want to invest into a company, I say I need one of two things validated. So I need either team validation or product validation. Because like at early stage, you don't have both usually. So team validation is the team experience. So if you have like experienced team who've built products before, you don't really need traction to convince me if I get the product and so on. So it's easier, I would say. If you're looking for a product traction, like the customer interest, and like usually like I look at the market and I try to know the pain points of the market. I look at the other solutions which are being created. Like it depends on the product. Like with the customer products, you can have like ideally you are selling the product and you can see month on month grow. But for me, it's not the most important. Where are you right now with the traction? It's more how it changes throughout the time.
I know that a lot of startups they still don't have full team, and they're considering they have maybe friends that may join the startup, but they can invite them. So, can you describe the ideal team that you've met recently, like the perfect team? So, I would just wanted to set an example to the audience. Maybe they would kind of know this, where the goal should be about the team.
Okay, so I met recently a team, and so this is like 2 people team, because usually in the company you don't have money to have more, and you are like one person army most of the time. So usually we have CEO and CTO, so there is someone who can deliver the product and build the product, and then there is someone who can sell it, who can talk with the customers. So usually the CEO is both like managing operations, is talking with the clients, like the customers, trying to understand them, and the CTO is building the product. And I think that's ideal, like the minimum team. Sometimes you have one-person teams. If there is like one person who knows how to sell and knows how to build, it's more tricky. And I think it's like also like taking into account mental health. I think it's easier to build a company if you have a co-founder and someone that you can rely on.
And maybe last question from this section, and we'll go to the founders. What do you think about purely tech teams that you probably met them a lot? Have you invested at least in one?
Well, right now we are talking with a tech team, and yes, they are like, but they know how to sell. So I think, like, if you're an engineer, like I'm also an engineer, so I had to go through the path. How do I talk just the numbers? And like, I'm a physicist, so I didn't have any sales skills. But now I have to also sell myself as the investor and so on. So you have to learn how to communicate. So if you have the engineer who knows how to communicate and how to explain the product, I think that yes.
Okay, thanks. I hope it was helpful. So next question is actually to founders. So what were your main challenges when you were trying to secure investments in Poland, and what you did to overcome those challenges? I know that I think one of the founders, I think Vera, right? You raised money in Lithuania, yeah. So probably, but you can also share your insights.
Yeah, sure. So we actually tried to raise money in Poland. We didn't succeed. We raised money from a fund, First Peak. It's a Lithuanian fund. And actually, being honest, I think the networking is very, very important when you're just starting your journey in fundraising. Because it happened that it's actually we knew the guys. So we actually knew them. So it was much easier for them to believe into us than when you go and try to to reach in cold way VC funds. Also, a year and a half ago, I moved to Israel, and I was struggling to build a network inside of the small country where I moved, because they know each other for so long time. They check if they have 10 connections or 15 connections on LinkedIn before they add you on LinkedIn, and so many things around everything. So I think the main point in Poland for us was that in CE region, we feel that that funds, most of them, they try to play on the safe side, and we are not SaaS, we are not subscription. We try to build something a bit more complicated, and we might be a hit or miss. It's really hard for us to be in the middle, so it's really hard. And we feel that we often hear about failures of startups from VC funds in the US, but we don't really hear a lot about failures from startups from CE region. It looks like many funds, at least I feel, that they're really struggling and they really have a fear of investing into in a startup that will fail, even though it's normal when at least I think it's normal in portfolio to have startups that might fail. I hope that we'll succeed. We just raise money and it looks really good for us, but still there is always this option, yeah? And you never know when you invest at any stage that everything might happen. So that's how I feel.
And you said that you knew your investor previous, like where you met them, like maybe it will help.
Yeah, sure. So my co-founder actually worked in a different VC company with some of them. So it was not his managers, but people from the same company. So that's how we met. But we also have angel investors from, and some of them are people whom we didn't know before, but all of them are friends or people whom our investors knew. So it's like very close network.
So yeah, it's a good advice. Take someone who has background in VC to the team. So like it may be a good idea.
But being honest, it doesn't help us a lot at this stage because our fund, Lithuanian fund, they really don't have many connections in beauty. We are in beauty tech. It's very different area, and they don't have those connections. Also, most of our investors, angel investors, they don't have those connections, so that we are trying to build our network from scratch. We've been doing that for quite some time, and being honest, it's much easier to build connections when you don't raise. So right now we are not raising. It's much easier to meet people at the conferences and tell them, we are not raising, let's just meet and have coffee, that's it. So they're much nicer to you and they're more willing to talk to you.
So yeah, so maybe Maksim?
Okay, so first I have to give a little more introduction to our situation. So we are still looking for the first investment for our first raising here in Poland. And I have to say that we initially, when we came up with the idea, we selected the target market as USA, and we are B2C, we are completely B2C, and we cannot go to B2B according to our idea. And that was our first problem when we faced any investors or any funds. They all insist on going B2B because that's much easier, and especially for venture funds, when they have some connections with business, it's much easier to invest into B2B company than B2C because there are much more risks and in B2C. So first of all, we tried to raise $720,000 for our initial stage, and our advisors said that that's impossible in Europe. That's only for if we are looking straight at the USA market. When you're residing there, that would be a possible idea to raise such a big amount of money. But in Europe, it doesn't work that way. So you have to first divide it into stages, or simplify your MVP and go to a lower raise for the first. So we developed another strategy according to which we are raising $480,000 and $50,000 for the first prototype. That's all because we cannot build the prototypes ourselves because our product is based on big data and it's quite complicated. So it's impossible with the regular team that we have, for example, or any other startup would have to develop such a startup. So, and according to our new strategy, we went to accelerators, and what really helps that it's an open market, and all the Baltic, for example, accelerators, they are very open to invest in Poland and to work with Polish startups. So we went through 3 accelerators at the moment. That's Belarusian accelerator Ultra, Civita, that's that's Estonian, and Bad Ideas. That's Latvian accelerator. So, but what I want to say is that no one would invest in you here if you don't have like connections and if you are not secured via some third parties. They all require you to have like some common connections before, as would it be an accelerator, would it be a business advisor or angel who invested first in you, but that's what you should start from. At least that's our experience. So now we are like we are very close to our first investment, and that's the experience we gain at the moment.
Yeah, sounds a little bit like chicken and egg situation, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so Helen.
So the question, first of all, was about the
challenges. Yeah.
Challenges. Okay. You know, to perform the startup, I think you need a lot of courage anywhere. You're in Poland, you're in US, anywhere. You need a lot of courage, right? But in the same time, when you move from your country, right now, a lot of people here in this situation, like me, it's in one time you have different tasks. First of all, you need the courage to perform your startup, and the second thing, it's about the thing that Vera already told. It's about the networking. You need one more time from scratch build your network, right? This is the two tasks. But if you just start, I think a lot of people right now already started because you're here. No one can stop you. Just support each other and just do what you want to do. I think that if you share this courage, if you share your ideas, it doesn't matter. It's the US market, it's the Poland VC fund. You just need to show yourself, first of all. For have this courage to show someone who are you and why your product is important for this world. You just need a support, okay? I just want to pick this idea, build the early stage startup and build your network. It's the one goal and one task, in fact. Yeah, just do it and everything will be okay, I think. It doesn't matter where are you. It's my experience. Right now, I just, two weeks ago, came from the US, this same situation, absolutely. Here or there, you just need to talk with people. You just need to show yourself. You just need to be courage to do this. Yeah, that's my opinion.
And be persistent enough. Thanks. Really good motivational speech.
My superpower.
Cool. So the next question would be to Diana. So what do you think about funding landscape in Poland and probably CE? What is unique about it? What is bad or good? How you yeah, a lot of people say that investors here are conservative. Do you think it's true? Or yeah, just share your thoughts.
Okay, so recently I spent lots of as you it was mentioned, I was Nomad VC. So what I wanted to do, so I was focused at first when I started my investing journey. So we were focused on Polish market, but then we started our second fund and we started investing across CE. And I thought if I want to invest into other countries, other cultures, I need to get to know them. So that's why when I started being this Nomad VC, and I lived in Czech Republic, in Hungary, in Romania, I was in Latvia, I was in Slovenia, and so on. So get to know, what's happening in other cultures, and what's the mindset of founders of the other VCs. And I think one of the things we have in common. So Poland is a pretty specific market. So I'll start with Poland first. So Poland is specific because we have lots of public funding, and there are good and bad sides to the public funding. So we have two sources. So we have PFR Ventures and we have NCBR. So it's R&D funds, the Bridge Alpha ones. And most of the funds from those programs, they were launched 4 years, 3-4 years ago. And it was 60, I think like around 60, 70 new funds, which is like a lot for such a market. So I would say like Poland was actually overfunded, and it like we had companies which were being funded, which were not like even sometimes startups. So, but it also made Polish market more competitive in terms of like how you act as the VC. And right now, most of the funds are at the end of the investment period. There will be more funds being launched from the PFR programs and so on. But right now, this is like a lower moment of how much funding is available, because also like this is a tough moment for founders to raise funds, but also for us as the funds, because we also we have to fundraise. So sometimes there are private investors who are less prone to invest into VC funds, and then we have less money to invest. So it's like a circle, let's say. And also, but I think it will get up like at some point. But also like looking at the emerging markets. So if you look at the US market or like, you know, more mature markets, like there are people who build the companies that have been investing for a long time. And usually looking at the like emerging markets, you have the waves of maturity. So usually the first VC funds which are existing and first investors, angel investors investing in any country, like they come from the old money, let's say, like traditional money. So sometimes they want to work with startups, they want to support innovation and technology, but they don't always know how. So sometimes, like in Poland, we had this first wave of VC and angels who, like I heard about like the worst case, like there was an angel who took 70% of the company, which is making company uninvestable. Especially if you look, you know, you want to build a VC-backed company, you want to have like space on the cap table and so on to grow it like in a healthy way. So sometimes like there are this unhealthy behaviors from the first wave, and we had that in Poland, and I think it's happening all over the emerging Europe right now. But the good part is that we are exchanging, like after you learn, you can exchange the knowledge, and you have the first investors who are founders, who know how to work with the founders. Like the Bad Ideas Fund, like they're like full of ex-founders who made money, now they support other founders. So you have like you can reach to the people who know they went through your path, so they also understand you better and they know what to do. So I think like as we go through this maturity, and we have, you know, there is this PayPal mafia effect. So people who were in the startups, now they start their own. Like we have invested into a company like Hypets. Like the founder, she was CMO and other startup, which was like heavily funded, like Wuxi. So, you know, so she got the lessons learned from the other companies she built. Now she's doing that. So we are going through these levels of maturity. And I think like the next few years, like 5 years will be like, we'll have more like also like capital and private capital, which is also important, because like I think like like EIF, European Union, they are putting the like more like state money into all of the countries. Like we have in each like European country, they try to have some program, but in the end we need more private capital to be invested in more healthy way.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. And maybe a side question, what do you think is the percentage of private versus public capital in Polish VCs currently?
No idea, but probably low.
Okay.
No, I think we have like maybe 10, 15 private funds, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. And others are mostly publicly funded, right? Or,
yeah, and I think that's tricky. So like in our first fund, we had like PFR on board, which for me it was great as a first-time fund manager, and it was less risky for my investors. But then I had to invest into Poland-based companies. We actually have one Belarusian company, but one of the founders is living in Krakow, and one of the founders is living in Lisbon, and they have Polish entity. So that's how we treated the system, because the money had to be spent in Poland. So we invested out to our first PFR-backed fund, but it was like, you know, like a bit like a round way.
Thanks. So let's discuss such players of the startup ecosystem as incubators, accelerators, and government support systems. So if you have any knowledge about them, you participated in programs, well, Maksim already shared certain things about it. Yeah, feel free to share. So we can start with, I think, Helene.
So, in fact, I'm not participate right, and don't have any program, government program. I don't have this experience yet. Maybe someone tell me more about it here, but I want to use my opportunity to talk and a little bit more add a little bit more about previous question. May I? Okay.
Sure.
So I want to share with you one interesting story. 1 year ago, the Mike Butcher, I think a lot of you, most of you know who is Mike and what he do.
Editor-in-chief of TechCrunch.
Yes. And he just be here in Warsaw, and he write in his Facebook, "Hey, Warsaw, how are you? Let's meet for startup dinner tonight there." And that's it. And everyone who in this moment open the Facebook and have his and connect with him, just go there. And the Boris from SMOK Ventures too also be there. That's how we meet each others. And after that, always he just write a message to me, "Hey Helen, today will be this meetup with the in Poland ecosystem. Let's meet there again and again and again." And that's how we start talk about our startup, and that's how the connections build, right? You just need to be in the right place. And my story with the SMOK Ventures, exactly like this, was started a year ago with Mike Butcher. Yeah, that's. I just want to share this story.
Thanks. Thanks again for good motivation. Yes, I think
one more time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If someone need to the contact with Mike Butcher, yeah, ask me. I will.
Good opportunity. Yeah.
I can tell a couple of words. We haven't been in accelerators in Poland, but we actually got in 2 acceleration programs. One was when we first got money from our Lithuanian fund who invested into us. They actually gave us mandatory free accelerator from the fund, and I think it was actually really good because it helped us to cover topics that in which we were not really good at all, I'd say. It helped us to understand where we need to spend more money, to spend more money in learning and trying to find people who can help us in those areas. It was very, very helpful, and the mentors in the accelerator were also great. And a month ago, I got into another accelerator because we're in beauty. I got into the women-only accelerator, American Indian, very interesting. Many people, many mentors, and most of the startups from India, but they're spread out all over the world, many of them in the US. I actually studied in the US, in the university that usually has lots of Indian students. That's why, probably one of the reasons why they got me into the accelerator. It's really great one, helps a lot, lots of great connections, especially in the among products who are built for women, platforms for women, wellness, other areas. It's very amazing, and what's also very good, it is free. We were talking with my co-founder, and we decided that we are not going to go to accelerator where we need to pay, at least not at this stage, because we don't see any point why we need to pay to get that information from the funds. Because if someone builds, there is usually 2 reasons why there are free accelerators. Or it's a fund who invested into you and they want you to become better. Or there's someone who built a free accelerator and in the end they want to invest into 10 or 2 out of those startups because they already see their progress and how they work. And they actually try to grow you, not only to give you bullshit information in exchange for your money. So that's why I think that accelerator is great. I learned a lot, lots of great connections, and I think that's the main reasons to go to such places.
I can add, because actually before running the fund, I co-founded acceleration program, so I am a fan of acceleration programs. And like for me, it's useful for like a few cases. So right now, if I have a founders who approach me like as a fund, like I invest, like I may take in 10 investments per year, so that's not a lot. So it's like the scale how much I can be helpful to the companies, and like it's limited. So for me, if I have a company which is reaching out to me and I know, okay, there is something in there and I like the founders, but maybe they need some like, like some expertise in some areas, like I have a place that I can send them to and they can work with the acceleration program. So right now we actually have a Romanian guy who's running the acceleration program that Boris and I co-founded, so we have startups coming through that. And if they go through that, it's sometimes like validation for us, so we can observe, like it's about like we can observe the progress. So sometimes like I think like that might be a good advice, like if you come to a new country or like you want to build a network, because like at early stage investments, it's all about also building the trust, because like if I like how to explain it. So like sometimes I will give you a story. So for example, there is a founder that reaches out to me and I don't know a way to validate the person and like to do the reputational check. We don't have, people in common, but usually that works both ways. So the founders are validating us, we are validating them, like verifying the reputation. So sometimes you don't know each other, and we started the talk. Sometimes we are not convinced enough that we want to make the investment, but then we get the progress from the founders. We observe like how the company is progressing, and observing this progress is also building the trust. And I've done investment like that, so I've seen like the email updates from the company, and at one point I was like, wow, like this is going well. Let's invest right now before there's like a huge boom in this company. So accelerators are also the way how to build trust and how to build your network. And the good acceleration program, like you should always check who's the alumni, talk with the alumni, talk with the mentors, and check who's running the acceleration program, because those people should have the reputation built in the ecosystem. So they shorten the path for you. So like if you go to the Bad Ideas Fund, like people know them. So if you use the name, it opens the door, and they open the doors for you, and they share their reputation with you. So that's how they can be used.
One more question, can you recommend a few local Polish acceleration programs? Because I think I always hear that the founders are trying to find something, but a lot of them just, don't see anything that fits them. So just curious about your opinion.
So it's tricky, because I am biased because I have my own, so I like it. But beside mine, so...
What's the name again?
Reactor X.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I like Maciek Sadowski, which gave the speech before, like Startup Hub Poland. So I think Maciek is great. Everyone knows him, like everyone loves him. So if you go to Startup Hub Poland, like Maciek will like open all of the doors for you. Like he's amazing. So I like what he's doing. Also, he has good connections in terms of like creating this international network and connecting with the diaspora. Well, it's tricky because most of the accelerators in Poland, they also have state money. So sometimes the names change. So we have Warsaw Booster, we have Mazovian Startups and so on. So they open, they are both good acceleration programs, and they are run by the people who are in the ecosystem for a long time. But you also have to have Polish entity to work with them. But they're good.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. And Maksim, do you want to add something?
Yeah, to add to Diana's idea, I want to say that all these acceleration programs and so on that you can take part, that's mostly not about you studying there and not about them teaching you. That's more about networking and building trust. So when you go to such a program, that's for venture funds and angels, for example, that's a good safe space to get to know you. That's the first that you should consider about thinking about going to some accelerator, and that's the main reason to go there. For example, it worked for us because that's something that showed our traction to our potential investors and to show that we are fighting for our idea, that we are not the team that would give up, like for example, in half a year. And so that's one of the best tools, accelerators, to build that trust in front of investors and venture funds. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So the next question is also to Dana. So I wanted to ask, what do you think? I think a lot of people in the audience, they may have just ideas, maybe a few ideas, and they're still thinking about what startup they can create. What types of startups do you think, maybe from technological perspective or just B2C, B2B, any axis that you want basically to describe, has the most potential to raise money here locally, in Poland or CE currently?
So I would say like most of the, like as was said, like B2B startups are the most popular ones, but I don't think you should choose a model for startup like just because of the trends. Because first of all, like the trends are not stable. Like in 10 years, like who knows what are the trends? And you should, and like we are like more like, sometimes we don't have that much experience in funding B2C startups here or building sometimes even B2C startups in Europe. So sometimes it's trickier for us as the investors to understand that. So that's why we also we rely on the experience of the team to help us understand and validate that. But I would say it's more about like who you are, what do you understand better, and what's your skill set. And like that's how you choose because like you're choosing what to focus on and what to have like your obsession for like the next 10 years. So it should be up to you. Yeah,
listen to your heart. And what do you think about AI, like LLM and generative AI? Recently, pretty hot. So hot topics, and a lot of startups. If you look at the recent batches of top Silicon Valley accelerators, like half of them is Gen AI, at least half. So just curious about have you seen a lot of Gen AI startups in Poland, or not yet?
I think it's less popular, but it is getting popular in Poland also. Well, I think we definitely should look into those topics, and we should think how we can leverage the available technology. But for me, when I evaluate the startup which is coming to me, so sometimes there are lots of memes right now in the air, floating, all of the startups right now, they're like a wrapper for ChatGPT or something like that. So and they can be good companies. For me, what's most important is how do you leverage the technology? How do you leverage the AI? And to make sure that you are using this, but as a tool, not as the goal. So if you have the proper business that is using that, and that's great. But if you're just using, this is your goal, let's build something AI and so on, I would say business viability is more important in that.
Thanks. So maybe anyone from the audience have any questions? Feel free. Okay.
There's been a big decline in global VC investment lately this year, especially in the US. I wanted to ask, do you see this reflected in Eastern and Central European markets as well?
Yes, definitely. So there is decline and there is slowdown. One of the reasons is that it's also harder for us to fundraise. So there are less funds available on the market. So then we don't have as much to invest. But also with the last 2 years in the crisis, I would say investors generally are more risk averse, and especially I've talked with the founders and the VCs from the region, and they were okay, the later stage investors, they stopped investing even sometimes, at Series A or B, because they were waiting what's happening with the market, and they were, because as the fund you have some limited resources, and then sometimes instead of looking for a new investment, they were pushing the money to support the companies that already have been in their portfolio, because their portfolio companies couldn't raise funding. As the early stage investor, I think for me it's the best time to invest, but I was lucky enough. So we closed our funding, our second fund, when the war was starting. But we had investors who committed to our fund, and we were signing the term sheets with them at the moment. So we had the funds which are available, so we can keep on going. We launched a year ago. So, and for the founders it's worse, because this is not the best time for with the valuations. But with me, I have more ground as the VC to argue for not argue, but to negotiate the valuations. So I think we should be investing.
Maybe the question for me: where do you think the curve is going currently? Is it up, plateau, or down? I understand it's tricky, but still, what's your at least feeling?
I don't think anyone knows. So my feeling, like I'm an optimist, and also like I would go crazy if I think it's going all down, because then my job doesn't make sense. So no, I think we are getting comfortable. We have to be comfortable with what's happening, and like we should be risk takers as the VCs, and I think that's the definition of our job. Probably we are like, but we are also thinking like how we can manage the risk. So maybe the rounds are smaller and so on, but we should be, and like aiming still to be active. I think that like next year or two will be still like in a similar pace. That's my gut feeling at least, and that we are more focused on how to build viable businesses and maybe not always so aggressively. However, looking at how like the US style of building startups, you have to be aggressive to reach a certain scale. So I think the most tricky part right now is how do you manage, like how do you balance the risk and the aggressiveness of how you build the company versus how do you make sure it's stable enough? Because like, for example, if you have a startup, you have like, let's say 20 employees, you're at like Series A or something like that, you have employees in different countries in Europe, you want to make sure they have stable jobs. Like we have Ukrainian startups and they have people employed in Ukraine. Like they don't want to, they want to give them stability of having the job, also working in a startup, not, so I would say that's also important.
Just interesting thoughts that my current investor from the Flint Capital, he said that in fact, right now it's hard moment for fundraising for a lot of startups, but for a lot of VC fund, it's really interesting time when they can invest in company with smaller valuation. From this perspective, it's not bad time for the seed startups. It's really hard time for Series A startups, but pre-seed and seed, it's really, really not bad time, in fact. You just need to think about your valuation. Maybe right now, when you pre-seed or seed, it's not important your valuation 2 million or 3 million or 5 million. In Series C or Series B, it will be not really important. But if it's necessary right now to raise the money for survive, just do it. Yeah, that's small thoughts that I want to add.
Thanks again. You're playing basically coach role here, so it's like it's pretty good. So yeah, the gentleman over there.
Hello. Okay. Thank you for the motivational speech, first of all. I'm Piotr, and I've got a question to Diana. How important is it to have a technical person in your team, considering a startup which is a really easy app? Is it like this that the chances of getting an investor or getting into VC rapidly go down if there's no technical person in the team? Or when the app is really easy, you can just like skip this part of team? What do you think about this?
I think it depends how well can you argue for that. So like, no, if what you're building doesn't have like a technical mode, I think it's all right. Like it's more about like how crucial this person is to build the product, and if this is like easy, and how easy can you replace person. So, because I would say like the technical talent is scarce, and I think like one of the trickiest things to find. And we invest into team, because so that's, as early stage investors, that's our bet. Like this is the team that we are supporting and they can deliver something. And then if you don't have a technical person, but you are hiring someone, like this person can like, can leave the job or something like that. So how easy it is to replace this person, or to deliver the product without them. So I would say that's what I would ask.
Thank you very much.
I think I can add. We actually don't have a CTO on the team. It happened. Even though I was a software engineer, but it was many years ago. Yes, so we have, but when we started trading, we already had a team, a technical team, who build our product. So in the worst case, I can build something because I was doing that, but I'm definitely not that person. And sometimes we of course, we don't know for 100%, but we had a strong feeling that we were rejected because we didn't have a CTO among two of us. But I'd say that you just need to increase the number of VC funds in your funnel, and then you'll find the one who will invest you without CTO. That's it.
Also, I think finding CTO in Warsaw, it's not the the hardest place, basically, to look for. Okay, so I think the next.
Yeah, hello. So I wanted to ask about the scale of money. So, okay, I will take an example because I remember a lot of people also in Western Europe were complaining about this problem. I remember I attended a pitch. It was a person that wanted to raise, I think, 5 million euros, and he wanted to do something like predict the production of vertical farming. And I remember when I talked to him, I said, why do you need so much money? And then he told me, Ronald, if I want to get good software engineers, I will have to pay them at least 10,000 euros per month. So you imagine 5 programmers that it has 500,000 per year, and I have to pay for 5 years. I said, okay, that's good enough. So I would imagine, but okay, he said good programmers, and I would imagine if I would do the same in America, I would have to pay at least 200K a year. So then the same project in America would require, I don't know, 10 million euros. But then the opposite should also apply. If I would try to do the same thing, I think I could get good programmers with, I don't know, 5,000 euros, no, 5,000 euros per month. Do you agree with this idea of the scale of money, that it works like that?
Yes, so there are a few aspects, so what you covered is the cost of the team. So there is a difference of how much I can pay to the program. I will what are the average salaries for in emerging Europe versus in UK or Germany versus US. So the difference of the salary is it's a lot, but also there is a difference of the how much capital is available. So here we have pre-seed, seed, Series A funds operating mostly in emerging Europe. Then Series A, B, and so on, they're more in Western Europe. So in more mature ecosystems, they have bigger funds. There is more capital available to the companies. So that also impacts how the funding rounds are being shaped. Sometimes the valuation the startups can get, even in Poland versus Germany, it can differ few times. So the startup which raised 1 million Polish zloty round in Poland, they can raise 1 million euro round in Berlin. So there is a difference on which market you're operating and when you're hiring the people.
Hi, can you share your experience of raising from business angels in Poland?
Yeah, I think Vera, you have a few business angels, right? But not from Poland, right?
No, they're not from Poland. We actually have people who invested into us from. Not all of them are Belarusians, but then from Belarusian ecosystem. They're outside of Belarus right now. And our friends and people whom we knew, actually it happened that both me and my co-founder, we had already a network of people in Belarus. So we just came to our friends and asked if they will invest into us. Many of them said no. It's really hard to hear no from your friends. But then, those who invested, they actually brought other angel investors who invested into us. It's friends of their friends. I think it's same here, yeah? So we went to our close network, then we expanded more, and that's how it worked.
Don't be afraid to talk to people who are close to you, who may have money, especially since probably a lot of people around are from IT and they have significant amounts stored in the bank.
Actually, it's my personal problem. For me, it's much easier to ask people whom I don't know for money than my close friends. And I still have a couple of friends who are multimillionaires in the US because I studied in the US. I haven't asked them because I think I value their opinion too much and I really don't want to fail. So I heard that feeling. I didn't go. Right now, we don't need that money, but still, I had that. It's a big problem, and you need to overcome it. Not easy, but you probably have to if you want to raise money.
And the question is, how to find the angels, or
Yeah, basically how to find business angel for a startup.
investment angel, right? Not just business. It's important.
Basically, I wanted to ask, do you have any experience with business angels in Poland and more like organized business angels networks? Are there any existing here? And can you rely on that, or it's not very existent in Poland yet and it's too early?
I have the angels, but not from Poland. And right now I'm on the way to find some people, exactly the business angels from the Poland. I'm on this way, and I think some meetups like this, or meetup like 2 days ago exactly was here, and some people from this audience right now was here too. This is the way how to find these people. Yeah.
We have few networks of business angels. So like there is a Sterling Business Angel Network and so on. To be honest, I don't cooperate that closely with them, but they are. So I cannot give you like opinion, but I think they are pretty easy to reach. So the way we cooperate with, like sometimes you can, if you join acceleration program, this is one source of the angel investors. So some of the mentors are like founders, experienced founders, which already like sometimes after the exit, so they can be also angel investors. Actually, that's also how I started fundraising for my fund. So I was running acceleration program, and first when I thought, who do I ask for money to invest into my fund, I went to mentors in our acceleration programs, and they were the first checks committed into SMOK. So and if you cooperate with funds, sometimes like if I have a startup which is like I am in talks with, and we are talking about the round, sometimes the round is bigger, and I also have my investors, so I send them the decks and so on. But this is for like when you start like so when you already go to the VC funds, so they can also like have they should have a network of some angel investors. But before that, yeah, like I think like reaching out to like sometimes there are like pitching sessions and so on.
Can you spell the names of business angel networks in Poland? I think there are 3 of them, right? Or at least the ones that I only heard about them.
Sterling, and to be honest, I have a tabula rasa. I can look for it and like send it to the organizers later. I'm sorry, but we have also VC funds who are co-investing with the business angels. So the PFR. They created PFR Business. So this is like a set of funds that they co-invest with business angels. So there is, like, for example, Next Road Fund. So the way they operate is half of the investment is from them, half of the investment is from the business angel network they have. So they help you with raising the funds. And also, like, can I just so what I would do sometimes, like, because as Vera said, it's easy when you don't want someone like to start talking with the people. So sometimes like. We have a list of business angels. We have a list of like later stage founders and so on. Like you can reach out to people and ask for advice. Like, hey, I'm building a startup. I'm building a company. I'm thinking how to structure my fundraise. And if you ask them for advice, then they can see what you're doing, and then they can later be also investors. So you can first ask for advice, then ask for money.
And I just wanted to add that I actually have friends in CE, but I think not in Poland. They just found people who were not officially business angels, but from the real businesses in the same area. And they added them on LinkedIn or found the information at Google, emailed them, called them, asked them if they want to meet up, and they actually invested later on. But you need to be very proactive. That's it.
I would say that's a very good advice, because also then you get like industry knowledge and industry network.
I think we ran out of time. Do we still have time for another question, or?
First of all, thank you for this event. It's pretty nice. I would like to ask how to find your team. For example, I have a lot of experience. I have get maybe 2 times investment money. It was with a team, but now I have immigrated a year ago, and I need to work for some company, and can time to do my startup, to create my idea, because I need a team. What is the best way to find my team? Where can I find them?
I think you already start to do this.
Yeah.
You start to, because you ask this question and a lot of people hear about it.
Maybe some online places, some chats or some events.
Yeah, I hear some answers.
I can't play them right now. I need first of all I need somebody who can help me create MVP. But exactly for my MVP, we need not a lot of money for get data set.
Let's create hackathon for people like this.
And we need good lawyers. What should I do first of all?
We have an answer from our perspective. Since we searched for developers and so on, all these like Telegram groups and so on, they doesn't work here. We didn't discover the reason why, but only such kind of events. And if you know Imaguru as well, there are lots of various events as well. And networking is the best way here. That's how we find everyone from like related to the team, not to the investment side and so on. That's the only way we found anyone here. At least from our experience, it didn't work, like searching online.
So again, for me, it's everything about networking. I actually, when I moved to, in March of the last year, I moved to Israel, and a month later, I couldn't find a job of VP or director level in Israel because I didn't speak Hebrew. I actually posted on LinkedIn a post that I'm looking for a great team or a co-founder to start something, and my friend introduced me to my co-founder, and actually he's our angel investor. So I didn't know my co-founder, but I met him through my friend who's an investor. That's how I met. So you just need to tell as more people as possible that what you do, what you want to build, and you need to find someone who will believe into your idea so you actually can build your thing together. And probably the best thing for you to find the groups, there are special groups where you can find co-founders and go to different events and try to pitch sales people or marketing people or someone who is on business side your idea, and maybe they will love it. Or you'll find another idea that you love and you'll join them. That's how it works.
I think we have one more question. Okay.
Hi, I have heard several times such a maybe common opinion that angels are better for early stage startups than VC. So my question may be more for Diana. Can you a little bit pitch VC for us for early stage startups and maybe your VC or VC in principle, and maybe a little bit elaborate about main differences? Thank you.
Well, I think I'm not against angels. Actually, I like to co-invest with the angel investors, and I think they can provide also lots of value. So I'm not saying just take the VC money. I think it depends on the moment. So usually, as the first investor, it's good to have the angel investor, especially if you're just starting and trying to connect with the ecosystem, because this is the person that is more hands-on, has more time, as this is one person, and it's more like personal investment, and they can be more helpful, and they can give you their network and reputation. But also, usually angels are not doing that full time. So this is the hobby, let's say after our projects or something like that, unless they're exited founders and they live on the island. But most of the angels, they have something that they are doing as the main job. So as the VC, I think our value is that we are 100% focused on just investing, and just working with our portfolio and looking for new investments and broadening our network. So angels are a good start, but then like each VC have different stages of where we are involved. So as the early stage VC fund, so my job is to be part of the community. I go to the events, I talk with the angels, I talk with the founders, I create, like I work constantly on my network on the same level of investments, like pre-seed and seed. But also I work on my network for later stage investments. So like I went to Berlin like last year and I didn't talk with the founders, I talked with the later stage VCs because that's my job, to create a network with the investors who can invest after me. That's why I have a business partner, one is living in Chicago, one is living in San Francisco. So they have a network and like in other countries, in other continents, with the investors of later stage. So I would say, but it's both with the angels and with the VCs. Like check who is the partner, what's their network, ask for their value add they can give you, and also like but with the angels they can sometimes be more like hands-on. With the VCs, I have 30 investments right now. Like our like portfolio is 30 companies. So there is also how much time I can give to one company.
Can I add?
Yeah.
So we actually have both angel investors and VC. And I love my angel investors because one of them actually, when we didn't have an iOS developer, he built this iOS app. And another one is amazing because he still sometimes helps us to write algorithms when we don't have enough time among our engineers. So that's why I love them. But I really think that VC at the early stage can help you because they push you. And angels, they don't push you. They can help you, but they probably don't know how to push the startup because only VC can go and meet with you and tell you that, okay, guys, maybe you should rethink something here, change something here. They can't tell you what you need to do, but they definitely, because they have many startups in their portfolio, they want them to succeed, and they want you to succeed, and they want you to push you to do your best, everything that you can. So I think that it's really great to have a VC fund as early as possible because then you probably will be able to do more. That's my opinion.
I think we ran a little bit out of time. So yeah, I'd like to share a few words about fundraising as my closing remarks. So basically, I like to think about fundraising process and getting ready for fundraising process as a game when you have a certain score and each of your actions adds some points to the score. You have limited amount of actions you can do throughout the history of your startup. So think wisely what actions really lead to increasing the score and what doesn't affect the score at all. I see a lot of startups that actually do waste a lot of time on doing things that doesn't really affect the score. And there is a certain threshold you need to reach so your startup would be attractive to investors. Of course, different areas, these thresholds vary from area to area, but still, you need to understand that without this score, without certain amount of points, no one is interested. Yeah, do anything you can to get points. It can be anything, right? Anything you can sell to investor is basically is the part of this score. Yeah, I wanted to thank all the panelists for this insightful discussion. There will be networking with pizza outside right after. And yeah, thanks Google Campus for having you hub today. And yeah, thanks everyone.